Hey, how's everyone doing? Today we are on episode
10.
2, 3, 4, 10. I was trying to count down. Come on, give me a
Oh, I'm
second.
sorry.
All right,
Okay.
episode 10. And we have two, not just one, two lovely guests right here that we found at a training event. And I was just like, hey, would you like to be a part of this? And guess what they said?
No.
They said no at
Just
first.
kidding.
And then after that, they said yes. And luckily, they're right here. We had some technical difficulty, but we got it going. Hopefully, we can get this podcast rolling, and it's going to be a really fun one. So we have Don and Jennifer. Please introduce yourself.
What's up?
Hey guys.
So you guys are the owners of Spot On Auto Diag, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. Both of us.
Yeah. The thing is that we can say right now, have we had more than a 2-minute conversation? Maybe two and
Oh,
a
yeah.
half. Okay, but we haven't had. This is going to be probably the longest conversation we had. So this is going to be kind of interesting because the subscribers are probably going to know more. We're going to know about the same right now.
I know. And trying to figure out questions, we're like, well, we're going to be learning about, because the people we've had in the past, I feel like we've kind of already had some type of a relationship with. When we were trying to think of questions for y'all, we're like, well, we're going to learn all about them right now.
Yeah, we're going to learn it right now at this moment. So I went to we went to ChatGPT.
GBT?
GBT or GTP? Now I got
GBT?
GTP. Okay.
GPT.
Damn it, I can't even think about it now. But we looked on there and we searched the dark web and we found some crazy stuff on it. I don't know. I can't bring it up right now, but we found some spicy stuff on there. But this is PG right here, so we got to keep it PG. Now, but honest to God, when we went to these training events, one thing that I love, and everyone knows this, people know this, I love training. And the other thing that I love about training is when you bring your significant other to a training event. That just makes my heart melt because I like to bring my wife to these training events. I love when my wife gets to hang out with other wives, intermingle and talk mess about us and and how the field is. So, that's a fun part. And we just came back from one not too long ago, and I saw both of y'all right there, lovely couple. And at that point, I was just like, I really want to have them on this podcast right here. So thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh no, for sure. So just to start off, like, can you let me know, like, what is Spot On Automotive Diagnostics? I know it's in the name, but tell me how it started. How'd y'all get to this journey where you're at right now?
Yeah, so much like probably all the listeners, tech in a shop, that's all I've ever done. Was at the last place I was at before I started Spot On was a Toyota dealer, and I was a diagnostic tech, and did fairly well. And then what ended up happening was I started doing side work, so I'd do a couple diags after work, or I'd go during lunch or what have you for just a shop or two. And then I realized, I would walk in with pockets emptier, right? So when I would leave, I was like, okay, like this is something. And yeah, man, slowly just got more work. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what, we can make a business out of this. And yeah, I just up and quit and started my own business. And well, we started our business. And then here we are almost 4 years in. And
Nice.
yeah, she's full time, I'm full time. And there's 5 of us now on our team. So
Oh,
nice.
awesome.
we have 3 other employees. Yeah.
So before the automotive, before you were a technician, before you worked at the dealership, what were you doing beforehand? Everyone has a different thing. They when I jumped in, I wanted to be an NBA player, but you saw how tall I'm not that tall. So that was not going to happen. I had to change my career. What was what made you happy? What made you wake up every morning, to go to work? Like what was that? What'd you do beforehand?
Well, man, no, out of high school, I went to UTI in Phoenix. And then after UTI is when the auto career started, obviously, went to Nissan, worked at a Nissan dealer here in San Antonio. And then I went and started working for the transit agency for the city and worked there for 7.5 years. And then I was like, okay, cool. I worked on buses, forklifts, any kind of support vehicle you can think of, gazebo, or not gazebo, what are the floor cleaners called?
Zaboonie.
Zamboni.
Zamboni.
Zamboni. There you go, Zamboni.
I thought I
Right? Like
had
anything from a bus to Zamboni to forklift to truck. Like, so then, yeah, then I was like, you know what? This was cool. Ready to go back to the automotive space, right? Get caught up with technology again. And yeah,
Yeah.
in the dealers. And then now here we are.
So
That's the
base.
day I met him.
Mhm.
Yeah, just saw he's doing. I love like that's what I love the most about him. I'm like, you're living your dream. How many people can say that their actual work is what they've dreamt of their whole life?
Mhm.
You know, from fixing Tonka trucks at 3.
Yeah, that's where it started. Yeah,
So from the beginning, you're just you want to become a technician, mechanic. You want to be
yep,
you're a grease monkey from the beginning. So that
yep,
oh man, dude, that's actually one
yeah.
of the first.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's one of the first I've actually heard that. I
Yeah.
had rock stars and basketball players, and I actually one stripper.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that was Charles, if I'm not mistaken, with his beard. I don't think that was going to work out. But no, this is actually the first time I've heard that. I've had some people that said they want to do something else, and then they got kind of I don't know, swayed by a uncle or dad or something like that. Did you have that? Did you have a family member that was an automotive technician or anything like that, or you just said like? What triggered you to become a tech? That's the thing. That's what I want to get to. What triggered you to say, I want to do this?
Yeah, so growing up, my dad always made me work with him. But whatever it was, yard work, cars, roofing, it didn't matter. And that wasn't his career. Just, he'd pull me outside just as a kid. And I'd be like, hey, come over, come do this. You're not going to be inside. So it was just one of those things. I started working with him on his truck, trailers, whatever, Bobcat, it didn't matter. And that instant gratification, I guess, it was that feeling, right? Like if something's broken and then you obviously put your hands on it and then you fix it and you get that like, oh man, you get that a dopamine hit, right? That, hey, you fixed it. Like it was broken, you touched it, now it's running. Um, and I don't know, I guess it's like I said, it's just that dopamine. I just chase that, I guess.
Yeah, and he has the opposite. Like when he told his family he wanted to go to school to UTI, they were like, "No, don't get into that field. Don't do that.
Yeah, there
You know,
was a lot of
let's
negativity with that.
let's go more white collar job." It was very. They wanted the best, the
Yeah.
best, and now,
Yeah, it's funny
yeah,
because, it's my siblings are white collar, you can say, right? But I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't you would never guess, put it that way, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think anything different if we look at social class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Between
Oh yeah.
myself and them. Um, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So
I feel like nowadays there's
yeah.
so much money to be made in the trades, and people don't realize that.
Oh, they do.
Oh, it's
yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much money there is out there.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, does it get annoying? Of course, but yeah, to answer the question though, it's chasing that dopamine, I guess, right? So
No, for sure. No, and it was the same with me when I was going to school and I said, "Hey, Ma, I'm gonna be a mechanic." She looked at me like, "Come on, dude, don't do that. Hi, come on, you a pharmacist or something else. Get something that's gonna get you somewhere." And I was like, "But Ma, I want to become a mechanic. Like, I want to work on cars." And yeah, she was not having it. I'm telling you, she was not having it. And yeah, I had to, but that's the thing. I just feel like in any career that you pick, any path that a certain person takes, you can get in line with everyone else and just be a standard person, or you can be that individual that's going to shine. And that's
yeah,
that's with anything. So a lot of people, they get in the automotive field and they just want to change oil or what. I don't know. I don't want to talk mess about that, because it's
right.
something that, that they love, that they enjoy, but it's just whenever you get into something that you really enjoy and love, there's really no ceiling to that. And then when you do something that you love and you're making money, God, it's just
Yeah, it's awesome.
it,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. So Jennifer, you briefly talked about it. Where'd y'all meet? How'd y'all meet? Did you just see him and you're like, oh, I love the oil under his nails, or what happened? Like you're like, I can't.
The jumpsuit.
Yeah, I can't do this anymore. Just how'd y'all meet? How'd you get into that interaction and say, I want to date this mechanic right here?
That's funny because when we first started dating, he's like, "Are you embarrassed to date a mechanic?" I was like, "No, why would I care about what you do? I care about how you treat me, right?" But we used to run. We were in the same running group. We did a lot of OCR, which is obstacle course racing, so
Hmm.
like Spartans, Tough Mudders. And we were in the same group, but we never crossed paths because it just wasn't the right time in our lives. And actually, one day we finally ran into each other at a race, and it was a tough race. I was a mess. His hands were bleeding,
It was
so
bad. It was a
it
bad
was a tough
race, but it
race.
was
And
fun.
it was like it was
It was fun.
finally like putting the face to the person. Like we knew of each other, we just never met each other. And we built a friendship through racing. I asked on social media who wanted to do a race with me one day, and he commented, "I'll do it with you." And again, we were just friends, and we did this race, as friends.
Yeah.
We didn't even take a selfie together
Yep.
at the race.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we like built the friendship.
Yeah.
And it just took off from there. It just got I think it's because we were friends and we were good friends and we could talk to each other about
Yeah.
anything. We talked to each other about other relationships we were in. And he had all the inside on how to get to me because I shared too much of that information.
I played the long game.
He was taking notes.
He
Yeah.
was taking notes.
I was playing the long game.
But at that time in my life, I didn't trust people, so I kept everyone at like arm's length. And he was just a friend. He never hit on me. He never complimented me for how I looked. Like I never felt, oh, he was in it for this reason. So it kind of snuck up on me. So I say he tricked me.
Strategic. Strategic.
So when you met him, was he just like a entry level tech, or what was he?
He was a foreman. I didn't know what that meant. He was a foreman for public transportation here in San Antonio. So when he said that, I was like, I don't know what a foreman is. He gave me his business card. I was like, great, one of these guys that gives you your business card.
I had to.
And I was talking with a friend of mine one day at work. She was actually a bridesmaid, and I was telling her about this guy, and she was like, "Well, what does he do?" I said, "Oh, he's a foreman for VIA." I don't know what that means. I just know he doesn't drive the bus. That's all I know. And I really didn't even understand the job really until we started dating. And then I was like, "Oh, this is what you do."
Mhm.
So y'all started dating, and did he like? You own a business now, so how did he get to that point? Did he just kind of look at you and say, "Hey, I'm about to start a business now"? You like
It's
who sparked it, or what happened? Like what got that going? Because starting the business is not a small feat; it's huge.
No, no. And I don't think a lot of people, even I can even say for myself, when I started it, I didn't even expect, what was coming. Because it takes a lot, man. If you want to make it actually be something and operate professionally, it takes a lot. And just not only the training, the computers, the software. I mean, you do some programming yourself, so you know what it's like when you have computers or this program doesn't play well with this program on the same computer. Of course, you don't find that out, so like you're in the middle of a job where you got some money depending on it, right, that you're trying to earn, and then you find out, oh, this is why. Great, cool. I just wasted time and money, you know. So yeah,
I would say we manifested it. We would go for walks every evening when the sun would go down, and we would always talk about our future. And he would talk about how he wanted to eventually do his own thing. And we were just like, one day you're gonna do your own thing. He was like, I'm gonna retire you from working corporate world and take you out
yeah,
of that life. And I was like, let's do it, because I really dreaded corporate world. And we would just manifest it and talk about a day that would come where we would be working together. And of course, with those conversations, as y'all know, like there's the fears and there's the doubts of like, does spending too much time with each other break you apart, or how would it work in our relationship? We would just kind of talk about all of that. And then one day he came to me and he said, I'm gonna quit my job. And I was
You're
like,
like, what? I need that
and,
forward
and,
money.
and
Come on.
see, and that right there, right, to tee off of that, and it's not to interrupt too badly here, but I have a friend, right, Antonio.
Mhm.
Same thing, man. It's a group chat, like 5 or 6 of us, all working in a shop. He just sends a picture one day of his toolbox in the back of a U-Haul trailer, and we're like, "Oh, damn, he's leaving his shop. Like, hey, where you going, bro?" And he says, "I'm on my own." And we're like, "Wow, what do you mean on your own?" Now, give you some context about this man. Wife doesn't work, 4 kids. He's just like, I'm going on my own. And we're
Oh
like,
my
what?
God.
Like, never mentioned it. Never even mentioned it ever, right? In months that I've been talking to him. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'm going on my own. I'm going mobile. And we're like, what do you mean you going mobile? He's like, yeah, I got a Cardac and I got a Dolphin and a Snap-on scanner. And the dude went mobile, man, with
That's what you
that.
need,
And
dude.
I
That's what you
mean,
need.
he's still kicking it. I talk to him almost every day. But yeah, that was a big inspiration. That when he said that in the group chat, I literally stopped working and I was just staring at my phone. I was just like, wow, excuse my French, I'm being a bitch. Like this dude, he's making a move on it, you know? And I'm here scared because it's me and my wife and we have no kids, you know, and at that time we were very, you know, financially free. We had like next to nothing for debt.
Paid off all our debt except our
Yeah.
mortgage.
Yeah, we had, you know, everything was great. We had good money in the bank, and I'm like, man, I'm over here like stressing, you know, and this man's just like, adios, man, later, I'm going mobile with like these three things.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then to continue, yeah, that's where I came home that day, and I was like, I'm quitting.
Yeah, he was like, if he can do it with 4 kids, why can't I do it? And I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And at that time, my salary would support us if it didn't turn out the
Right.
way that we had planned for it to turn out. So we had that security there too. It wasn't until he said you quit your job where I was like, what?
We're both gonna be broke now. What's going on? No,
Yeah,
but
no
it,
kidding.
it takes a special individual or just a special group that where you're just gonna take this leap of faith that
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know what you're doing, like, and you're just
Yeah.
like, I don't care. I'm
Don't.
gonna go for it, and I'm just gonna kick
Yeah.
ass. You know,
Yeah.
not a lot of people do that, and it's I commend you on that for sure. Like, you know, imagine if you weren't doing that, you're still gonna be a foreman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're probably
Yeah.
still
Dealer
gonna
tech right now.
probably
Yeah.
still be there and thinking, hey man,
Yeah.
Antonio's kicking ass over there, and I'm over here just
Yeah.
you know, still living the dream, still dreaming about that. You know, what could have
Yep.
been. So you know,
Yep.
I got to commend everyone that takes that leap of faith and says, hey, you know what? Let's do this, and telling your significant other, hey, you know, I want you to be in the same boat with me, and we're gonna freaking kick ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at that time too, because he was at Toyota at that time, I mean, he was already making 90K plus flag. So
Yeah,
he
I
was
was my salary. I was on a salary because I was do the Diags and the lemon law cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had a base salary of 90 with potential of more, right? If I flagged whatever I flagged.
and Fridays off or something, half day Fridays or
Dude.
something.
Yeah, that was another thing.
They
I
tried to
was
keep him, so they were like, you can
yeah
spend more time with your family.
yeah.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, how it worked was 7 to 5 Monday through Thursday, and then Friday was like 8 to 1, and then I was off Saturdays always. And at that time they had a rotating schedule of teams working Saturdays. So of course, when that first came out. Oh man, guys were pissed at me at the dealer. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to hang
Oh
out with me. They
man.
didn't want to help me. They're spiteful. So,
But
but
can you explain to the viewers, right? After once you have your own business, right? You have amazing hours, right? You can just you can go to work whenever
I'll
you
work.
want.
I'll work so much harder, longer now than I did ever working for anybody
Oh,
else.
for sure, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be midnight on a Sunday, and I'm on the couch and she's watching TV, and I'm clicking away at the keyboard making some process, or I don't know, looking at financial statements, trying to figure out, okay, hey, where are we at with our balance sheet, or just all kinds of stuff. And it never ends. It really never ends.
12 years into it, I'm finally calling Saturdays off, right?
Yeah.
Finally,
Took longer.
Wow,
after
really?
12 years, dude.
Yeah.
Finally.
Holy
Wow.
moly.
And it's not full Saturdays.
Yeah, it's not full Saturdays.
Yeah, it's
He
not
hasn't given them up
yeah,
completely.
I'm not haven't given up the Saturdays up completely, but to the point that I can sleep in for a little bit and get to enjoy the time with my son. It's because
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
feel like, especially owning a business with a significant other and then kids and all. Oh my God, it's just you get so
the
tied
pressure.
in. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get so tied into the business, but
yeah.
it's just I don't know. It's just crazy.
Well, Jen, can you tell us a little bit about what your role is in the business?
This episode is brought to you by Behrman's Product, trusted by pros and DIYers since 1918. Whether you're underneath the hood, cleaning injectors, or just looking to get an extra performance boost, Bearman's got your back.
I know we've used their products in the shop and even in our personal builds, stuff like the B12 Chem Tool, fuel system cleaners, and throttle body sprays. They work, period. So if you want to keep your engine running clean and smooth, head over to berrymanproducts.com to check out the full lineup or pick them up at your local auto store.
What we really love about Bearman's product is a family-owned company that actually listens to the people turning the wrenches. No gimmicks, just real results. So thanks again, Bearman, for supporting our podcast, keeping our rides running strong.
Yeah, so I handle more of the admin side now. When I first started, it was just me and him. So I was doing dispatching, scheduling, taking all the appointments. I was riding around with him for a while. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then when we hired our first employee, I got to like step back just a little bit. I was still obviously doing scheduling, dispatching, phone work, things like that, but we had somebody who was up there running around, so I didn't have to move cars as much and pick up parts as much. And then it wasn't until November of last year we hired our first admin person. So now she does all of the phone work and everything on the back end. So I just focus on payroll, HR stuff, accounts receivable, statements, collecting, things like that, the money side.
Yeah. What did you do before jumping into the business?
I was an investor. So I worked for JP Morgan for 15 years, and then I quit that to go work for Fidelity because it was an at-home job and much better pay and just an awesome company. So yeah, I was a trader. So I was doing trades, and I was working with only high-profile individuals. So you had to have a minimum. At that time, it was like a minimum of 250,000 to talk to me. And I did that, and I loved my clients because they were all older, retired, happy people because they had money.
Yeah.
So so the thing is, our podcast, we like to bring couples in. We like to talk about, the struggles, the goods, the bads, and all that. Working together, how was it when it started off? How is it now? Can you tell I want you to explain to our subscribers out there if they're planning to, do a joint business with their couples, what's the stuff to look for, what stuff to,
Any advice?
Any advice?
Man, I will say this. The very first thing, clear roles. Who is doing what? And that is your job. This is my job. I'll meet you at the end.
Yeah.
Clear defined roles. 100% have that from the very beginning. Because starting off, we like winged it, and there was days it worked great. It was like, holy shit, that worked cool. And then there'd be other days where it was just, man, we'd be at each other's throats. Like, I don't even want to see you. I don't even want to look at you. Just go over there. Go, leave me alone. Just go that way.
But I will say working together made us much stronger as a couple because it made, at least me on my end, I'm a needy person, and it made me understand exactly where his time was going and how his day flow was. So I didn't need that be with me at 6 p.m., feeling anymore because I talked to him all day. I saw him all day. So it was definitely better for our relationship. It helped us grow stronger together to know exactly what your partner is going through. And it took away from those everyday, how was your day at work conversation. We didn't have to have those conversations anymore. Like anything you're trying to build and any vision you have, my best advice is make sure that your foundation doesn't have cracks. And in our marriage, we make sure that our foundation doesn't have cracks because struggling is a lot in its own. And if you have that pressure of your home life not being right, it's just going to make you break apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, for sure. There's times that when I was stressing out, I just remember waking up on the Sunday and I just look at her like, "What's up? You want to fight or what?" Like I was so, I don't know why, I just had anger, but it's just, I don't know, it was just crazy. But like we got to, she got to be a part of the shop and got to see some of the stuff. She'll walk in and out and she'll see how everything's going. And it's kind of good when, like you said, you get to see what the other person's doing, and you kind of appreciate that as well. And one thing is, when I took her to SEMA, she got to see how the women were doing in the automotive field, and that was pretty amazing. She got to see a wide range of people on there, and it really opened up her eyes as well on that spectrum too. It was really cool when she got to see that. But no, it's just it's amazing when we have couples here because
well, that's pretty much why we started the podcast.
Yeah, we started
was because I think some people don't realize how difficult it is to run a business, and like we get it all the time. I don't know if you guys get this, but it'd be like, oh, you guys are going on another trip, like, but it's like y'all don't realize like it's not just a 9 to 5 job. It's, you know, if we take a long weekend vacation, it's because we most likely need it, because it's just been like
Yeah,
chaotic, or
you've been
the business has just been a lot, so we just need to get a little breather away and then come back refreshed, because it's a lot. You don't get your paid vacations, you don't get any of that. So
There's actually a
yeah,
picture. There's a picture of
100%.
us in Cancun. We're like in a cabana at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm programming, and she's doing book work.
Mm,
And people are looking at us
mm,
like, dude, you're crazy. And I just see my wife right there. I think we started like at 9. We didn't finish till like 4 o'clock on our vacation.
yeah,
it was the last day of the month.
Yeah, it was the last day of the month.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
no, we
way
already know that,
behind.
Rob.
I told my wife, I
Yeah.
was like, "Did you get all the? Did you put all the stuff down?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Well, guess what we're gonna do today?"
And we had fun doing
I
it.
will say, I will say any couple that is thinking about working with their significant other, the hardest thing for me when we first started was understanding, like you said, the roles, understanding that if he was mad at me, he was not mad at his wife. He was mad at his colleague.
Yeah.
And that was really hard at first. And I'd be like, I'm letting down my husband. Oh, I'm letting down the man that loves me. And it took one day he came to me and he said, I'm not going to love you any less as a partner because I'm upset about something that's going on in the business. And that's kind of when it was eye opening, like,
Yeah.
okay, you're not babe right now,
Yeah.
you know, you're Dawn.
Yeah,
But that was really hard to switch off.
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm very I run hot naturally, right? Like my temperament, right? So I can be my approach can be snappy sometimes, and it's not that I'm being snappy to be ugly or disrespectful. It's just I am, my gears are wound up. So I would come to her and I'd be like, hey, this is this, right? And I'm snapping the fingers like, so you can get the context of the situation, right? Everybody's kind of, or at least I'm on high strings, right? And then she would get, immediately the walls would start going up, like if I'm attacking her personally, right?
Yeah.
Like if it was our relationship. And, then she would resist me, and then I'd start getting upset because I'm like, why are you resisting me right now, bro? Like, we're on the same team. I need you to do this. Like, we
Yeah.
just need to get the job done. So, that's when
That
all of this
that sounds very
transpired, right? And
familiar.
yeah, we built into that, right? We identified the problem and then figured out, okay, hey, that's work, and then this is our personal time, right?
Yeah.
So,
So going
um,
into like the whole work and personal time, is there anything you guys do to set boundaries between like your home life and your work life? Or has that kind of all just blended
Or is there a
together?
time that you shut off the phone and you just don't look at work? Because there's times that
yeah,
my wife is like,
well,
6, don't look at it.
yeah. So, I do a lot of module stuff, right? Module repairs or whatever, cloning and stuff of that nature. So, I used to have all of that stuff here at the office, in the home office.
Mhm.
And as soon as we got a shop, I took everything over there because I'm like, man, I'm gonna start. I want to come home and be home,
Yeah.
right? No more work. But then I did that, and I turned it into a programming room, which full of laptops and things, and so I had to get away from it. I had to get away
No, I wouldn't say that there's a separation there at all. We schedule dates,
Yeah.
and a scheduled date is no work related stuff. But for
Yeah.
the most part, I mean, I just need to know you're around me. I don't need you to actively be invested in me. So he
Yeah.
can be on the couch working until midnight, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's just he's here with me type thing.
Yeah. That's understandable. Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah, well, I would get to the point. So, uh, we do remote programming. So I got into that because I was thinking that was gonna free my time. No, not at all. Not at all.
it gives you mobility
It
though.
does.
Like you don't need to sit at home and do it,
Yeah, it does. But it got to the point where I was like, I got in here to just free my time, this and that. But the thing is, I'm more of like a competitive person, not addictive person, competitive. And in remote programming, it gets really competitive. So that's
Oh
the
yeah,
thing.
no, very,
Yeah, that's the
very.
thing. So I'm like, I want to beat everyone, and I try to do as much as I can. So I'm there
Yeah,
and I'm working, and I look at my wife, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm programming. Leave me alone.
yeah,
I'm trying to do
yeah,
this." And then she tells me, she's like, "No, after a certain amount of time, you gotta calm down because you've already worked your butt off during the day. Now you got your son, and that's the thing. Once we bring the child in the
And we have
picture,
a very needy child.
yeah, he's a very neat child. As soon as I get in, papi, daddy,
He wants
this,
our attention.
yeah, he wants our attention, and we have to just make sure that we give him that, because end of the day, he's only gonna be a baby for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where I have to put my boundaries, because I when we got together, I let her know, you're marrying me and the business too. Like, this is you're getting into this. Like, when I got into the business, I went full, 100% in there. But talking to different coaches now they're trying to get me to, move away from that and have my boundaries with my family. Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is, yes, we want to get a business, but we want to get it to the point where we can travel, enjoy ourselves, and not get too consumed
Yep.
into it. And
Yeah, make the machine.
yeah, and that's what we're really working towards right now. But I just can't take off those damn hats. I can't, dude. They just love sitting on my head.
Mhm.
That's one thing. Oh, we lost. Oh, there
Oh,
you
there
go.
we
Okay,
go.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, what happened? We lost you forever, man. No, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that was it's I don't know, just working together. It's an amazing thing. I love it, man. And I like talking to other couples that do the same thing. Like, for sure, Keith and Liz,
Yep.
they're badass. They're one of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
they're one of my favorite couples. When we go anywhere, we're always talking to them and everything. So really
Yep.
cool stuff.
Yep. They're a good inspiration, that's for sure. I've gotten a lot from them.
Yeah.
A lot from them.
Yeah. So I know, Jen, I kind of talked to you a little bit about this when we were in Arizona. What are some like outside hobbies outside of the business that you guys like to do?
I mean, I'm fully invested in fitness, so I could work out for 8 hours if I was allowed to, but my coach is like, "You need to cut it down to 90 minutes." So yeah, that's my hobby, and I love to sleep. So that's my other hobby. But we also have
Same here.
we have our life. Sleep is important.
Yes,
I'm
I love to
40. I
sleep
need
too.
9 hours.
Hold up, you don't wake up at 5 in the morning with Dawn and start working out?
No,
What?
no, no, no. I have to eat at least a certain amount of food before I even start working out. So the few times that I do work out within the morning, I'm like, okay, I need to eat before we go, so I gotta wake up an extra hour earlier. Like, I will not work out fasted. But we have our livestock, so we have our animals. So my hobbies are just taking care of our babies. We got ducks, geese, pigs, goats, dogs,
Oh,
cats.
nice.
And I'm a stay-at-home fur mom. Always my dream.
I love
So that's really it. And then I guess out together, I'm also a water baby, so anything that involves water, I'm there.
Yes. Oh yeah.
No, I remember, what was it? We went to a training event, and I think normally when we go to a training event, we'll have our adult drinks at night, and then have a good time, this and that. And then I think Mario Rojas was over there, and I think you were there too, and all that. And they're like, "Yeah, let's wake up at 5 in the morning and do some workouts." And I'm just like, I'm dead, and I see Don's like, just, oh yeah. I'm just like, holy smokes, man, this guy's dedicated. This guy is freaking. He's on a different level. And I'm gonna tell you, you actually inspire. One thing is, remember, I was talking. We were talking about doing remote jobs. I remember I called you one time, or we talked, and I was just like, dude, I'm stressed. I'm stressed the heck out. I'm stressed out. And I said, and you're like, why? And I was like, because I'm trying to work and I'm doing programming, this and that. And you show me your setup of like 20 million computers and all that. And then and I was like, dude, how do you do that? And I just I was like, I'm a pansy right now. And then I was like, Don, how do I get over this? And you're like, just do some push-ups. And to the point, I started doing push-ups after that. Now I'm jacked up, but yeah.
Yeah, no, because you get that movement going, right? And you move the blood through your body, it changes your physical state.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, and you raise your heart rate, right? Your mind is also changing. So once you change the mind, you're good. So yeah, that's why I say the push-up.
Well, on top of that, so when we get to remote jobs, we're not there. Okay. We're not there, and we're kind of going off of what the person says. That's it's a pretty fun job, right? You know, it's not stressful at all. Just
Oh
listening
yeah,
to what they're saying, and then when stuff doesn't go right, you know, who they pointing the finger at?
yeah,
The
yep,
lube guy,
yep,
the no, they're pointing
yep,
the finger right at you.
yep.
How is
Yeah,
it?
and some of these computers are expensive. Some of them are easily $1,000,
Yeah, and
or they're inside a transmission pan. So you got fluid and all this extra labor, and if it has you have a bad programming event and it breaks, that's immediately they want to start pointing the finger at you, right? Because they don't want to pay for it.
no, for sure. And so your business, what all do you do? So we kind of talked about it. You do remote programming. What else do you do in your business? Is it just strictly programming? Is it diagnosing? Is it calibration? What kind of stuff do you do in your business?
Yes, so we do full service mobile, right? So programming, diagnostics, keys, ADAS, um, hybrid, EV, full electric. And we're playing with the idea with mechanical actually. So we only do business to business right now. We don't do business to consumer. So 26, we really want to actually open up shop and offer mechanical for, business to consumer and then still keep the mobile for business to
So
consumer.
you run a full shop then? How many are?
At,
Go ahead.
I said, yeah, for 26, we eventually will, to have, like I said, the mechanical and
Okay,
the
awesome.
mobile side.
And how many trucks
But
do you
yeah,
have right now for mobile?
so there's three. There's three that are on the road.
Dude, that's awesome.
And we have two back.
And you've been in business how long?
July will be 4 years.
Yeah.
Big ups,
So,
dude. That's amazing, man. From going from just saying, "Hey, we're gonna leave the 9 to 5 job," telling your wife to, "Hey, pack your bags. We're gonna start doing this," and now you have X amount of trucks and doing it. That's kicking butt, dude.
yeah,
Dude, that's amazing, man. That's really
yeah,
amazing.
it also helps when you have a very good network, right, of other people that you get influence from or push each other. My immediate core group of friends that do exactly what we do, man, I can honestly say if it wasn't for them, I don't think any of us would be where we're at in our immediate circle because we've all have grown a lot just watching each other, seeing what they go through or hearing, about their mistakes or what have you, or seeing them make a big move or the next move over, right? Like they hire another employee or they buy another mobile van. When you're around that environment, right? It just goes back to the competitiveness. You want to do better for them, but you're still happy for them. You don't hate on them,
Yeah.
but it's like, man, I want to be there. Like, I'll beat you. Like, I'll do one more. I'll help you here. And then you get to get around those people, and it really does something, especially when you're dumb enough to take the risk, right? So,
Dumb enough, and well, it gets to a point where you have that braveness to just do it and just
hmm
succeed on it, man. So so going through this, what's the best thing on this? Like what? And then you said 2026 you want to open up a shop like to do just repairs. What do you see yourself or both of y'all see yourselves in like 5 more years? Like what's the goal? Or what's the end goal of your
Spot
business?
on automotive.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, what's your end goal?
oof, man, I don't know if I should say this on the air.
There's no end goal,
Well,
right?
no, there is.
There's always another light to chase.
Well, we have it. We have it. Well, this is the thing. We don't have kids,
Mhm.
and we're not going to, right? I'm very selfish with my time, so I don't want to dedicate that to kids.
That's understandable.
Um, yeah. So
It's not in the plan, at
yeah,
least.
it just wouldn't be fair to the child, right?
For sure.
To you know, they need the time, and then you not give it to them. So what I would like to do is, before I go out, right? Either let's just say if it's through death or I get bought out or what have you, I would like to pass it down to someone in the company at the time.
We wanted to stay employee owned,
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
employer owned.
yeah, employee.
Nice. I like
And
that.
are y'all like planning on like if y'all buy like sell it out or whatever, traveling the world, or you guys start a new business, or what's going to happen?
We have no desire to travel. We want to stay home with our fur babies. My end goal would be obviously a lot more land than we have now with a private lake, so I can wake up every day and go row on my lake, and not have to see another person other than him, and just take care of my fur babies. Honestly, like that's what brings me pleasure. You know, I spend about 4 hours outside now with my animals, just watching them and being around them. That's my happy place. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like.
Yep.
I like that.
I'm gonna get Don a shirt that says "Fur Babies."
For dad.
Fur baby dad. I'll make sure to get.
Um, I guess I can say like one of our life goals, we don't know how that'll plan out, but we would eventually, hopefully, like to start some sort of sanctuary for elderly.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
So Don, do you have any like the like say proudest moments in your business journey that sticks out in your mind? Like anything that man we
For
just
both
made
of
it.
y'all.
Oh,
The question's
yeah,
kind of for both of
yeah,
y'all.
both of y'all. Like, is there
What
something
is your
like man,
proudest
yeah,
moment
proudest moment that you're like, dude, we finally made it, or like, holy
as
smokes.
of
So
now?
yeah, so our first shop we leased, it's probably when I got the signage and I got like the door wrap, like the vinyl
Hmm.
wrapping, right? And the first time I got to see it, like I pulled, because I was out doing rounds, right? I was out doing my route. And so the company came out with the boom truck, whatever, they hang it, all that. And I wasn't there for that. And, well, it was end of the day and I'm coming back to the shop and I was the first one back and I pulled up and I saw it up there and I was like, man, like I don't think I'll ever, I should say I don't think I ever feel that again, but maybe not in the business. But it was really
Yeah.
cool. It
Seeing
was
your name up there.
yeah, to see the logo and everything. I was like, man, dude, like this is it, bro. This is my business, dude. Holy shit, this is cool.
Right.
That was probably the one I can share at least.
And Jennifer, what was your proudest moment? Was it seeing him saying, "Damn"?
Uh, my proudest moment was, I mean, I'm proud of him every day. Every day I wake up and he's not in bed because he's already out there hustling for us. I mean, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of him every day for doing that and giving me the life that I have because I wouldn't have this life without him. Within Spot On, man, I guess it would be the day you bought the truck and you put the magnet on it. Our
Yeah,
first service truck, we don't drive it anymore.
yeah. I still
Oh,
have it,
We
but we don't
went
drive
we went
it.
together to go get it, and we cash flowed everything when we started the business because we didn't want to start in debt. So he's like, you got to go with me because if I want to buy it, you're gonna have to drive the car home, you know.
Yeah,
So seeing him in that first service truck,
yeah,
yeah.
and I tell him that someday, if we do have an R&R shop, if we do open to general public, I want to put that truck like up in the front, you know, like on a stand somewhere, like where it all started.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. A little artifact.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, exactly.
So, man, uh, so we can say Spot On is like your baby, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's your main baby. Yeah, because Oz Mechanics is my baby. I think you know Ali, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
yeah. Ali goes. He comes up to me. He's like, "Brother, I need you to change your name. You got to change your name from Oz Mechanics." I was like, "Dude, I've been doing this for 12 years. Come on." That's like having a kid for like 14 years and be like, "I don't like your name. You're just gonna change it to something else." Yeah, we raised you all this way up, and Ali, if you're hearing this, no, that's not gonna happen. Okay, not at all.
Oz Mechanics is here to stay.
Is here to stay. That's one thing. Well, we are gonna change the name of our podcast. That is
Oh
one
yeah,
thing.
we are changing the name of podcast,
Actually,
but that's something else.
yeah, Linda, she was producing the video or she was recording the video before we actually started. So it's gonna be pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully, people like it. Hopefully,
We'll find out.
we'll find out later on. But
Yeah.
Don, do you have anything that you would like to tell our subscribers? You know, people that are starting off automotive, starting off. We already talked about the business, but anything that you like a golden nugget that you would give to them and say,
Oh
"Hey,
man, I got a few easily,
yeah,
easily,
give us
Let's
two."
hear it.
easily. All right. So first thing, process and procedure. When you're first starting, you're not even thinking I should document how I do this for reference later, so that when I hire somebody, we have a reference. There's a job aid available. The simplest things to buying a GM flash token to logging in and figuring out how to, pull up a Nissan calibration. Yes, second thing would be asset management, right? As you acquire tooling or what have you, equipment, you should be documenting all of that, price, serial numbers, manufacturer, all of those things. Um, because as you grow in your business and you want to get evaluated later on, well, what's under the business? You know, what's accounted for? Can you pull up essentially a spreadsheet and just say, hey, look, all of this that's here is owned to Oz Mechanics or what have you. Um, so from the very beginning, if you can document that and keep that, man, that it'll save you a lot of time later on. We recently just started. We're still in the process of doing it. I had to give myself 60 days to get it done because here we are, 3 vans on the road. We have our shop that we have to do all of our AOS calibrations and stuff at. We have all that equipment. Now here we are trying to log this information. It's just a total pain in the ass.
Long days.
Very long days.
And tired eyes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we went to a meeting and you talked about that. But what really, and one thing that you brought up, and I was like, holy smokes, you never think of this, when shit hits the fan, and you talked about your dad passing away, and you're not in the right state of mind. You're not focused. You're not sharp. And dude, that hit me hard because my dad passed away not too long ago as well. About 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I can't even think about that. Yeah. And I was lost, man, for a while. And then when you brought that up, and sometimes you need those rails right there to keep you in the straight narrow road, and doing that was that's pretty awesome when you talked about that, having everything lined up and having everything ready to go. So if shit hits the fan and you're not there 100%, at least that is.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Something like that can happen, and then one of your vans gets stolen. It's like, okay, cool. Now you got to report that to the insurance company. Like, they're not just going to cut you a blank check for what you say. You should have some documentation. Say, hey, look, this is what all was accounted for. These are serial numbers, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And it shows that level of organization, right, in your business, that it makes you look like a professional. So then you can easily, one of two things, right? Either they help you out, or at the very least, that helps you get that additional insurance you may need to get you covered, right? Because you don't want to obviously overpay on a premium or underpay for something like that. And then, of course, these are all things you don't think about starting out in the business. All you're thinking about is like, where's my next job? Because I need to make money. I got to pay the mortgage. Like, that's all you're really caring about at that point. When you grow later on, you have to start acting like a business, and well, you got to operate like a business. So,
well, the information that you shared with us, I wish you could make a small course on that, because man, that's some golden stuff right there. Honest to God, my mind was blown. I was just like, dude, this is really amazing stuff. I was talking to Jonathan Garcia too, and he's like, man, you got your shit straight, man. I'll give you that, man.
we try, man. We try.
Dude, you're good. Both of y'all are gonna be kicking ass, man, and I'm excited for that. I really hope that your company and your relationship, everything grows together, and everything's gonna be blossoming from here. But I wanna, we're almost an hour into it, right? Oh man, time flies when we're having fun. But I really want to, honest to God, thank you for both of y'all to being a part of this podcast. Lucky number 10 that we're doing right here.
Yep.
So thank you for joining us on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to end it off. Do you have anything else to say, baby?
Nope. I think everything was pretty good. I'm excited to put this out.
I know. I'm excited. Jennifer, anything that you want to say? Don, anything that you want to say for the people in San Antonio, Texas, if they do hear?
No, I just wanted to ask you, Oz, like you said, your dad passed away 2 years ago, and you've been doing this 12 years now. What was that push that kept you going during that hard time?
Good question.
The thing is, my dad always instilled that in me, never to give up and always keep on pushing. Even like I would always tell everyone, he was the type of person that he really didn't show too much emotions, but when he did, it was felt around the room. And I just knew that my dad, deep down inside, he wouldn't want me to just moan and just keep my head down. He wants me to keep on fighting. And that's one thing that just kept me pushing, is just knowing that my dad was that type of person, that he was like, look, if you have something in front of you, don't be crying. Just, and the next day the sun's gonna rise. just keep on kicking ass. And that's what kept me pushing, because I got to the point where I just kept on asking, what would my dad want me to do? You know, and when I would go to work and I wasn't feeling it, he always told me, hey son, everything's gonna be okay. You know, just keep on doing what you're doing, and I guarantee you it's gonna get better. And I just always keep that in the back of my mind every single time. So yeah, was it a hard time? Of course, ups and downs. Whenever you whenever you lose someone that you truly love, it feels like the world falls on your chest, and it feels like you're alone. Even when you have the loved ones around you, you just kind of want to be in a dark place for a second just to regroup, and then after that you can go out there and kick butt.
Well,
Go ahead.
your dad was also with you at the shop a lot.
Yeah, he was.
So I know that was difficult too, because even what we're currently trying to do is we bought a shop 4 years ago now, and we've been having like issues with the city that we haven't been able to open. So that's actually where we're filming right now, because we can't use this building for anything else right now. But his dad was the one that like found the building, was here having the like watching the workers. So like his dad wanted, like, I think his dad always saw greatness in him, so he wanted him to keep pushing. So I think he instilled that in him. So even when with his passing, like I felt like Oz felt like he couldn't disappoint his dad. He had to keep going.
And there's a point where, like, I would always ask my dad for advice, and even if it sounded like it was not the best thing, I would argue with him, and he's like, just do it. And I would do it, and then it would work out. So I remember one time I came to the shop here, and we had I think it was a clog or something. And I remember I got a snake, and I'm just going at it for God knows how many. It was like 40 minutes an hour. And I was just like, and we have my dad's mural here at the shop. So I just kept on going at it, and I'm just getting frustrated. And I'd literally break down and I'll start to cry. I'm like, Dad, this is like, whenever I would always have a bad time, I would just ask you for advice. Even if it's just not the right advice, you're always there to answer those questions. And at that moment, I don't know what hit me. Like, as I was just laying there, just defeated, something just came up, and it was just like, go get a camera. And so I ran to my shop. Like, I can hear my dad saying, just get the camera, the stethoscope. I can't even think of it. So I went over there and I got the camera, and literally like in 2 minutes, I unclogged it. And that was just something that my dad would say. And at that moment, I just felt like he was never gone. Like at the moment, I'm never going to hear his voice, but I can, like, he instilled so much in me that it's just never going to leave. And
You have all the lessons.
yeah,
he
I have
taught
all
you.
the lessons that he gave me. So that's where I feel good, and I feel complete, because like, I know he's gone, but everything that I learned from him is just instilled in me. And I just feel like I feel great. There's not a day that after that time, I'm like, Dad, you did your time here, and you did your best, and I'm just glad that I was your son and you're my dad. And that's pretty much it. And,
Nice.
or I'm gonna start crying and stuff.
Yeah, no, that is, man.
No, but that's
That sounds very, very familiar. I'll tell you that. Very, very familiar.
Yeah.
no, for sure, man. It's just the loved ones like that, man. It's just I don't know, when you brought it up just a little bit in that class, and I don't know, just at that point it just it just kind of hit me right there, and I was just like, man, it just brought me
Yeah.
back to that time right there when you're you don't know what to do, when you don't know what to think. But yeah, man. Yeah.
On that note.
On that note. On that note, yeah. Now, but I really want to thank y'all so much for coming by. Yeah, hopefully next
I
time.
appreciate y'all having us.
Oh, for sure, man. Hopefully when we go to the next training event, hopefully we can actually have, more of a conversation, because this was amazing. I really did enjoy our time right here, and yeah, this was really nice.
Yeah. Thank
Cool.
All right, so how I'll always end off my videos. If you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell to get all brand new videos coming out from Miles Mechanics. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day. Goodbye.